Well, good afternoon and welcome back to my channel. It's a reasonably mild January afternoon, 31st of January, and I thought I'd take the opportunity, seeing as though I haven't done a video for a couple of months now, I'd take the opportunity to do a video on how to take the battery off my scooter and one or two basic maintenance tasks that you can do on it. There's not much you can do on the battery on one of these, but on the Modena, but at least it's worthwhile having a look and seeing what you can do to prolong the battery life, look after it and make sure that it gives you a good life. So bear with me a minute, I'll get set up and we'll have a look. Okay, first things first, we're going to remove the battery cover and then we're going to access the battery, and I'll show you how to remove it and how to just check one or two bits and pieces. Phillips screwdriver, 4 screws. Quite easy to do this bit. In fact, the whole job's reasonably easy to do. Okay, battery cover off, put that somewhere safe and you'll see the battery there. Now, one or two things to bear in mind with the battery. The terminals here, the positive, which is red, and the negative, which is black, you want to make sure that you don't short those out by putting anything across them, a spanner or a screwdriver or a piece of wire or anything. So just take care when you're doing it that you don't do that, because if you do, you could cause a fire, you could cause a short, your battery could explode. So you just need to take a little bit of care with it. So first thing I'll do is I'll remove the positive terminal, which is a Phillips screw on this one. Nice and gently, not too fast, not too slow. I'm going to put the screw back on for safekeeping. I'm just going to nip it into place. Remove the negative. Again, I'm going to put the screw back in, and I'm going to put the screwdriver down away from the battery so that you don't have any risk of shorting the terminals out. Again, screw back on, and that's your positive and your negative terminals removed. There's nothing holding the battery in place, so you can just simply lift it and take it out. And that's basically all you do to get the battery out. Just have a little look inside, make sure it's nice and clean, there's no cracks, your battery's not going to fall through the bottom because it's cracked, everything's okay in there, nice and sound. So now I'm going to take the battery inside the garage, put it on my small workbench, and just have a little look around it and show you what we can do. Okay, we're in the garage now. We've got the battery out. I'll just show you one or two bits and pieces about the battery. It's sealed on the top, which basically means that once it's filled up with acid and that top is pressed on, then there's no maintenance to be taken out that you can do inside the battery. It's sealed for life. But having said that, I wouldn't turn it upside down, just because there is a small chance that you might get a leak, and we don't really want that. You don't want acid on your floor or on your hands or everywhere, especially if you've got children or pets or anything. You don't want any acid about. You should be able to clearly see positive and negative marked on your battery. That's the positive terminal, the red one, when you put it back on your motorcycle, your scooter, and that's the negative, which the black one goes to. So just have a look around it, make sure there are no cracks, no leaks or anything. That looks good. What we can do is, good idea to just give it a bit of a wipe down with a dry rag, because sometimes you get a little bit of damp and a little bit of crud around the side of the battery, which can, in extreme cases, create a short, especially if it's damp and the muck and the crud on the battery is damp. It can create a short. It's unusual, it's not likely to do that, but it has been known in the past. So just give it a bit of a wipe down, make it nice and clean. Always nice to clean things up, make sure that they're okay. So we've cleaned it up, we've had a quick look around it, everything's okay. At this point you can, if you've got a multimeter, you can set the multimeter to the 20 volt DC range, and you can have a quick look, see what the battery's reading voltage wise. It should read about 12.5, around about 12.5 volts, 12 to 12.5 volts. It should be okay. Make sure you put the red one on the positive, not like I was going to do there. Put the black one on, put the black one on the negative, and have a little read. And we've got 12.36 volts. This battery's been stood for a week, so that's, I'm quite happy with that. It's been stood in the cold for a week. I'm happy with that. So anything less than 12 volts, and you know, you might be thinking that it'll need to be charged, or perhaps even, you know, replaced maybe. So other than checking the voltage on it, cleaning it up, making sure everything's right, there's not really anything more we can do with that. If you've got a charger, it might be an idea to stick it on charge for a few hours, just to help boost it, just to help, you know, put a little bit of warmth into it, help it along. Other than that, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to bring it in the house for a couple of days. It's going to warm it up. It's going to, you know, give a little bit of heat to it. It's going to help it. The warmth is going to help it to generate some charge in itself, and then I'll stick it back on my scooter, and away we go. Just a little tip when you come to put your battery back on the scooter. This can also apply to a motorcycle and a car with a battery. It would be a good idea to just give the terminals a clean. Give them a clean with a rag, maybe a little piece of wire wool or a piece of emery cloth, just to make them nice and clean. And the top tip really is, before you reconnect them to the positive and negative terminals on your scooter, motorcycle or car, just smear some Vaseline petroleum jelly over the terminals. And make sure as well that your terminals on your scooter, bike or car are also clean. You can give those a wire brush, or you can give those a little rub over with emery. That makes sure you've got a really, really good connection, because what the cold weather thrives on is a poor connection on your battery, on here or here. So you really need to just smear them with Vaseline and give them a nice snug tighten down when you put it back on. Don't over tighten or strip the threads, just nice and snug, so that they're not going to come loose. If you're feeling really adventurous, what you can do, you can follow the cable from here back to where it bolts to the chassis on your scooter, motorcycle or car. You can take it, when you find it, you can take it apart, you can unbolt it and give that a good clean, because quite often when you've got problems starting, it's not always your battery. It can sometimes be the terminals, or even where this cable joins the bodywork, the earth on the engine or the chassis. It can often be that, and a good clean on that, some Vaseline, and put it back together, and that will make sure you've got a good circuit between your earth on your bodywork and your battery negative. So probably that's about all I can tell you really about your battery. It's a fairly simple, low maintenance device, but it still needs care, it still needs looking after, and it'll give you, if you do that, it'll give you good service. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.